Good morning, and welcome to the MEAC Digital Network and the 2026 MEAC Conference Biweekly Women's Basketball Coaches Video Show, proudly presented by TowneBank. I'm Lynn Thompson, and today we're breaking down the action, the people, the storylines shaping MEAC women's basketball. And we'll tip things off by going coach to coach, recapping key matchups from the past 2 weeks and looking ahead to what's next across the conference. Then we'll open it up to the media for focused questions as we dig deeper into the storylines behind the scores. For today's session, media members are limited to one question per coach, with additional opportunities provided as time allows. To participate, simply use the raised hand feature. Remain muted until you're recognized, and then please remember to lower your hand once your question has been asked. All right, good. Let's talk basketball. Now, we're right in the heart of the college basketball season, and across the country, teams are deep into conference play, staking their claims, making statements, and separating contenders from pretenders in the race for the regular season championship and top seeding in the MEAC tournament this March. This past Saturday marked the second week of MEAC action, and right out of the gate, we saw some surprising results that turned heads and set the tone for what promises to be a wide open conference race. And well, guess what? There's a new leader at the top of the standings after the first three conference games. We'll break it all down before shifting our focus to Saturday afternoon. And then when all 8 teams will be in action, returning to the floor, battling for early positioning. So let's take our trip around the league and hear directly from our coaches as they recap the opening stretch of MEAC play and look ahead to what's next as the 2026 MEAC season continues to heat up. We're going to start in Baltimore, checking in with the Coppin State Eagles, where first-year head coach Darrell Mosley is standing by. Let's see if we can find him this morning. Coach Mosley, are you with us right now?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thanks for joining us, man. It's year one for you at the helm. And after a very challenging non-conference slate, you open up MEAC play with a 77-70 win over North Carolina Central to go 2-1 in league play. And you did it with some balance. You know, you got 4 Eagles leading the way with the team high 17 points and 5 rebounds from one of them going 8 for 8 for 10 at the line. Let's talk about this particular young lady who's leading that scoring effort for you.
Kyla Morris.
That's right.
She's someone that, can score the ball. She has to see the ball go in early and get her confidence going. But, reason I brought her here, she wanted to have a bigger role, wanted to play more minutes and have a bigger scoring role. And so she had some big games in the non-conference, and we were looking forward to step it up in conference. So just to get it going in that first game against Delaware State, didn't play as great against South Carolina State. They did a phenomenal job defensively and got it going a little bit more against Central. So just trying to, see how far she can take us and just give her the confidence to be more aggressive.
Aaron Morris and Shania Gamble, they dropped in 14 each too, Coach. You'll take that kind of balance every night, won't you?
Oh, absolutely. We need people to step up consistently. Can't rely on the same couple people every night. So when you get other people to step up, that's a bonus for us.
Coach, in that win, you shot almost 43% from deep. I mean, hitting 11 threes. And then more importantly, you went 26 for 33 from the charity stripe. That's a good recipe for winning a ball game and closing it out in good style, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. We've been struggling from the free throw line and struggling from behind the three. So we had to just get back and practice, get a lot of game reps up and getting them in, to get extra shooting in throughout the week. And so it paid off. And, hopefully we can continue to see it going forward.
Coach Paris McBride. Let's talk about a senior guard from Richmond, Virginia. She knows the league. I mean, she spent 2 seasons at Central, and now she's with the Coppin program. A lot of experience in leadership. She plays like a coach on the floor. In fact, but she did that in JUCO. Served as an assistant coach, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, she did a year coaching at JUCO. She was a kid I recruited out of high school. Had a really good relationship with her already. But it was hard to steer her to go Division II when she had North Carolina Central on the table. And so when I got the job, I had to bring in 14 individuals And she reached out, was like, coach, we have a relationship. I got a year left. And I thought she was done eligibility wise. And so it was a no brainer for me already having a relationship with her. But knowing she wants to get into coaching. And so just having that leader on the floor, that coach in the locker room, was why she was pivotal for me to, bring in and have on my team this year.
I mean, what a great bonus, coach. But in that win against Central, you also got significant contributions from your bench.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of young ladies added 8 points each and recorded a couple steals and just limited minutes. So all of these are newcomers to your program. Did you anticipate that it would take a majority of your non-conference schedule for this team to build the chemistry when you got 14 newcomers to the program? Did you think it would take this long to really, round everybody into shape? And if so, now is the right time, isn't it?
Oh, it's the right time now, but we're still not there yet. Still trying to build chemistry and whip them into shape. And the non-conference is kind of like you had no choice with that tough gauntlet schedule we had, which was another hurdle for us when I got the job. It was only 2 contracted games, so I had to go out and find 15 non-conference games. And the only people that really were looking for games was those power fours. And so
Yeah.
we got slapped around pretty good in the non-conference, which, it helps you grow. It gives you plenty of film to go back and watch. And we're constantly switching the lineup up and just trying to see who can step up and just kind of keep their confidence going. So practices have been very competitive because we're challenging them to pick up the energy and effort in practice. But we're just trying to see who can be gamers. Sometimes people look really good in practice, but then don't show up come game time. And so we're trying to see who can be gamers and who can come off the bench and give us a contribution and extend their minutes a little bit.
Last question for me before we open it up from the media, coach. Looking ahead to this week, you hit the road headed to the shore to face the hottest and top-ranked UMES Hawks, who just beat the perennial 2 top teams in the league in Howard and Norfolk State. What is it going to take to beat the Hawks on the road and move into a tie at the top of the heap in the league?
Man, it's a tough league. It's any given night you got to prepare for everybody. The coaches are doing a phenomenal job. And I'm getting a lot of calls, preparing for South Carolina on Sunday. And I'm like, I got to play Merlington Shore on Thursday. That's what I'm worried about right now.
Yeah.
And so they're doing a phenomenal job over there at Merlington Shore. They got some post players that are playing very aggressive, some scrappy guards. So we got to definitely take care of the ball. And we got to be able to get to the free throw line and be able to execute offensively.
Okay, coach. Hold on just for a minute. That concludes it for me. We're going to open up for questions from the media. As a reminder, media reps use the raise hand feature. Remain muted until you're introduced. Limit your questions to 1 each for Coach Mosley. And the first question comes this morning from my man Ray Rogers, Urban Sports Scene. Good morning to you, Ray.
Hey, good morning. How's everyone? Hey, good morning, Coach. How are you,
What's,
man?
what's up, Rick?
I'm good, except Lynn took my question, so I got to kind of remix it for a second because you did get started a little late. We talked about that in the off season, and we talked about the challenges with getting started when you did. You had to put together a roster, like you said, scheduling and all. But how pleased are you to start off conference play, 2-1, considering all that you experienced and considering when you got hired?
I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased. But just trying to keep them humble, keep them working. Sometimes we can get complacent, and just don't want to come in with that sense of urgency. After a game where we got to continue to work hard and practice. And so, just trying to keep us watching film, keep us hungry, because any given night in this league, you can get clipped. And so we want to continue to prepare for everybody. Watch tons of film and just keep them working hard in practice.
I appreciate it. Talk to you soon, Coach.
All right, same to you.
Thank you so much, Ray. Now on to Charles Hallman from the Minnesota Sportsman Recorder. Good morning to you, Charles.
Good morning. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing fine. Couple questions, or just one real good question. In terms of anything you want to add to McBride play this year, something that you didn't expect or you're surprised, and just also what little thing or big thing you feel your team still needs to get better at as you continue to go through your first year and your first season in the MEAC.
Yeah, I'm extremely surprised of McBride's play. Like I literally was bringing her on the team like Udonis Haslam, like for the Heat, just that veteran and keep the locker room intact and just kind of be that additional voice of the coaching staff. And once we got her here this summer, she kind of outworked everybody, for that starting spot. And I'm talking about gained it by far, and like nobody can come for her. And so just kind of how hard she plays and puts her body on the line for the team, just knowing all the plays. And she's literally, I could see her as a future coach, but she's the engine of our team. We go as she goes. And so I'm extremely proud of her production this year.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Charles. And Coach, that's it for the media questions. I don't see any more for you today. We're going to let you get back because you just got a couple of days. You got to hit the road and go to the shore. So thanks so much, and we'll see you next time. It's going to be Coppin State at Maryland Eastern Shore Thursday. That's the 15th, 7 p.m. tip-off on the Delmarva Sports Network. We're going to trip on over to—
Is that 7 or 6? Something we trying to clarify that right now.
Well, they got 2 according to what we got here is at 7, but I think you need to check with your administration because if we got it wrong from what they sent us, we don't want to get you in trouble, okay?
Yeah,
we'll follow suit and we'll double back.
7, I think they got 6 on their website, so we just trying to figure that out now.
What we'll do is we'll get our staff to double back as well, okay?
All right, sounds good. Appreciate it.
Okay, all right. Best of luck to you, Coach. Let's head on over to Dover. I see you there, Coach Jazmone Turner, the head women's basketball coach at Dell State. How you doing this morning, Coach?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, doing good, Coach. You're in the year 2 as the decision maker of the Hornets after serving 1 interim season. You opened up conference play with a heartbreaking 1-point loss to Coach. You just heard him talking about it. Us talking to him at Coppin State. Then you hit the road and dropped 1 to Howard in a very competitive battle. Saturday, Norfolk comes to Dover, and although you played them even in the second half, they came to Dover. You couldn't overcome a 16-point deficit. Let's talk about these first 3 MEAC games.
Yeah, I think one of the things I talked to our players about this summer is consistency. And I think that's what we've had a hard time finding is some consistency within our lineups, within our play. So we're just working on that, just being consistent at what we do and how we want to do it, game in and game out. I think once they find their consistency, I think we'll be in a good place.
Okay, but at this point now, this seems to be a very far more aggressive and competitive Hornet team that we saw at this same point last season with some new faces, including one that happens to be your leading scorer at this point, freshman point guard Amaya Scott. She's at 9.3 points a game, followed by a transfer combo guard or Jamisa Frierson at 8.5 points a game. Let's talk about both of them.
Yeah, I think both of them have stepped up. I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but we lost our leading scorer, Mahogany Cunningham, so they could still be competing the way that we are competing. I'm pleased, and we've been able to figure out ways to score the ball, losing her. And we're asking people to step up, and I think Liliana Harrison is coming along. We'll add her to that conversation. But Maya Scott is going to be a special talent. There's just some things that she has to grow into as a freshman. We are very excited about her style of play. It's just kind of now teaching her on the defensive end how to, be in help rotations and things like that. And then you have Jamisa Frierson with some experience who's building and gaining her confidence back. Yeah. It's taken us some time to get us there, but you can see now she's starting to really get a feel and a flow. And her confidence is there. I'm really excited about those 2, but we're asking for some others to step up as well.
Let's continue talking about Mahogany because she was a major contributor for you last year. And this year she only appeared in 8 games. But when she was playing, she was, in fact, your leading scorer. Let's talk about her status. What happened?
Dad, we went down to Hampton in the third quarter. She got nicked in the back of her leg by another player from Hampton and came down and had a season-ending injury. So we won't see her anymore this season. But she's doing well. She's had her procedure, and she's here with us, doing her rehab and everything. She's still around the team, being a great voice in the locker room for us and staying focused and locked in. So we'll look forward to having her back.
Wish you all the best in the rehab, Coach. Last year's all-rookie team, Erica Huggins. She's a contributor, 4.5 points a game, but leads the team in on the glass and in the blocking. What do you expect from her?
Yeah, we want Erica to do a little bit more on the offensive end. We want her to be able to score a little bit more, also grab some of those offensive rebounds, as we know she has a rebounding ability. Just want her to step up. I think for her, she's just trying to learn the game more and more every single day. She has a really good spirit, really great kid. She comes in every day and works. I think just getting her IQ to where it needs to be. I think in Howard, she stepped up really, really big for us. And that's what we've been trying to get her to do all season. So going back to that word consistency, if we can get her to play like that game in and game out, we'll be all right.
Okay. Final one for me. Coming up this week, Morgan State is coming to Dover. You got a chance to break into the win column at home and gain some momentum that you're desperately looking for. What needs to happen for the Hornets to get this W?
Defense and consistency. We really got to defend. They're a team too that's hungry for wins. They could just coming off a win, and they're doing well. Their coaches are coaching them up well. You can see that the team is getting better and better every game. And those players are still competing and they're playing hard. So we're telling our players, you got to come in, show up, play hard, but we got to defend. We got to defend. We got to get stops, rebounds, and take care of the basketball.
Okay. All right, Coach, hold on just for a second. We got some questions coming in from the media. First one comes from Charles Hallman from the Minnesota Spokesman Reporter. Charles.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning. Well, how are you?
Doing fine. Just one quick question. Anything you want to add about Scott's play this year, and are you surprised of how she has stepped up as a first-year player? Sometimes that transition can be difficult from, playing prep and going to college. Just talk about her play up to this point and what you want to still see from her as you.
Yeah. I'm not surprised at all. The kid's a Philly kid. She's tough. A lot of kids and players that come out of Philly, they're tough players. And we love her. So I'm not surprised about what she's able to do offensively with the ball. We're teaching her how to play the game, how to be a better point guard to get her team involved. Obviously, I told her, you're top 2 on the scout report in our program. You're on the scout report. People are going to know how to play you. They're going to bump up on you. They're going to be physical with you. They're going to take you out your game. What other ways offensively can you impact the game? So we're just trying to teach her that right now, seeing the pass early, seeing skip outs and things like that when she's coming off a ball screen. So, but not surprised at all about what she's able to do in her mindset. She believes in herself tremendously at 5'3", 5'4". The kid, her heart is big. And one of the things I want to note about Amaya Scott, she's a really, really, really great kid. Positive kid, comes in every day, want to work. Really good kid. You'll be surprised. Sometimes, she checks on our coaching staff all the time. She comes over, talks to us, sit in the office, wants to learn more. She's a relationship builder, and that's going to take her a long way. So I'm really, really pleased with Amaya. The only thing that we really, really want her to step up on is on the defensive end. Sometimes she loses her assignment or forget, what the scout specific thing we're doing. So just trying to teach her. So I'm growing with her through that as a coach, and not trying to holding her accountable, but not, taking away her confidence at the same time. So I'm looking forward to see what else she's going to do this season.
Thank you very much, Coach. Good luck.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Charles. Ray, you're on. Ray Rogers, Urban Sports Team.
All right. Coach Turner, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good to see you too.
Appreciate you. I just want to ask, because you mentioned the word consistency. The word that came to mind for me is confidence. Even in that Howard game, you were down late, but they were still diving on the floor. They were getting the scuffles. They played so tough. But after the Norfolk game, I just want to know, how do you keep them confident? Because they've been so close, and then, that was kind of a setback. How do you keep them to the place where they know that they can win this league?
I think that when you go into the locker room after these games, and having, 13 new players, you're playing with some young players, not berating them, not, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, we need to do, not doing that. You touch on the points that we need to be better at, and hold them accountable for it. And then you clean it up with just some things that we did do well, and that's why we're getting closer and closer each game. But we got to pay much more attention to the things that we aren't doing as well. But giving them a little bit of both, not just talking about the loss and why we lost, talking about the good things that put us in position to be successful. Now we just got to do those things that we aren't doing well 10 times better. And I think they'll get over the hump. This team hasn't lost confidence. They haven't lost faith in themselves and our staff. and I'm proud of their resilience. So it's gonna come, and we all know it in our locker room.
That's good to hear. Good luck. We'll see you soon, Coach. Thanks.
See you soon. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys, for those questions. And thank you, Coach Turner, for spending time with us today. We'll let you get back to practice and game prep for this weekend's upcoming game as you will host the Bears of Morgan State. It's going to be Saturday, January 17th, Alumni Hall, Bay Health Court, 2 p.m. on ESPN+. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Let's go on down to Washington, D.C. Our next interview is with Howard University head coach Ty Grace. Good morning to you, Coach Grace.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
Good to see you, Coach. You know, since taking over the Howard program in 2015, you have consistently done two things. You've recruited elite talent, and you have kept the Bison at the top of the MEAC and in postseason contention year after year. In fact, this year, you went 10-6 in non-conference play, highlighted by impressive wins over Providence and Cincinnati, making it one of your most successful and strongest non-conference performance in recent years. How does this challenging non-conference schedule prepare your team for the style and physicality and intensity you face in the MEAC?
I think it's the same every year. We try to strategically put together a non-conference schedule that is going to prepare us for the MEAC. Mm-hmm. So that's something we've done, you know, every year. We've tried to just have a competitive out of conference schedule. And it does what it does. It gets us ready, and sometimes it doesn't, honestly.
Okay, I understand that. You opened conference play with the win at South Carolina State, followed by a 10-point victory at home over Dale State, then a 6-point loss at UMES. And in that loss, defensively, you forced 22 turnovers, you blocked 6 shots, 7 steals, but uncharacteristically, you shot 48% from the line, and you lose it. What do you say to a team in an uncharacteristic performance from the line like that, when consistently you've been very productive from the free throw line?
They know what it was. It wasn't anything I needed to say to them. Like, you don't miss that many free throws. It's not anything to like get them riled up about or, you know, yell at them about. We know what it was, and you know, we go from there, and we start shooting some more free throws.
It's that simple. It's just forget that one. Let's move on to the next one. After 19 games, you got two young ladies, Thomas and Stewart, who are your leading scorers. Then you followed by Ariella Hennigan and Niall Miller. Those 4 on the top of the charts in a variety of stat lines for you, including minutes played. But there are others in the cast performers who are really making significant contributions this year. You want to talk about a few of those?
So you probably are talking about Destiny Bynum-Johnson and April Edwards, 2 guards that have been the starting lineup for us, but they've been in and out. They didn't play in the last game, but I mean, I feel like most of my team all have different ways that they contribute. You know, we're pretty versatile and have good depth. So at any given time, you know, any of those players, that the ones that you mentioned and the other 2, including some of the other ones on my bench, some freshmen that I have, can pretty much step in and do the things that I'm asking them to do and try to contribute in ways that, you know, we need to help us win.
Yeah, because we noticed over the first 19 games, you're running a very deep rotation, and anybody's number can be called at any time. And I guess that's how it is. And when you bring in there, you got that kind of talent that you got to be ready to play. And that's showing up in the stat lines and the number of minutes played. This weekend, you travel to Durham. You got to face the North Carolina Central squad, a team that's hungry for a victory. How do you think it will be? How difficult would you think it would be to overcome what seems to be a team desperate to win at home, and you got to go in there and face that?
I think we approach every game the same way. Like, every team wants to win, and so I don't take any team any differently. I think everybody wants to come in and do what they, you know, what the plan is. So, you know, we're gonna go in with our game plan, and they're gonna come with their game plan, and then, you know, wherever the chips fall, that's where they're gonna fall, and we go from there.
I guess it's all about execution, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, Coach. Hold on just for a minute. Thanks so much. We're going to go to the media now. First question for you is coming from Ray Rogers, Urban Sports Team. Ray?
Okay. Hey, what's up, Coach? Good to see you as always.
Good to see you too.
All right. I talked to you before about the depth that you have. You just kind of mentioned, some of the players that you relied on and some that have stepped up at different times. But as we're early in the conference play, do you still feel like you're kind of tweaking your lineups and learning what's the best rotation? And when do you feel like you'll get to a place where you have that kind of solid rotation that you've been looking for, that you kind of had in the past?
I think I have a rotation. As you've seen, we've changed up the lineup, and some of it is game-based, scout-based, injury-based, depending on how people feel that day sometimes. But I think we have a good. I think everybody knows who it is. Like I don't have to say we're going with this seven today, this seven, the next day. I am bringing to the table the people that get it done, and my team knows that, and I know that, and so that's how we move forward.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks so much, Ray. Charles Hallman.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. There was a debate over the weekend on a HBCU media site, which is the best conference between your conference and the SWAC. What makes this conference, your conference, so tough to play in, especially for my readers here in Minnesota that don't get a chance to see HBCU basketball? What makes your conference so tough?
What makes my conference what?
So tough to play in.
Obviously it's the players. The players make the conference tough. We have elite coaches, great coaches, but I think the players are the ones that make it a challenge every night, make the scout difficult, make it tough for you to make adjustments. When those players come up and they show out and they show up, it just makes it tough. Every game is going to be a different game. So I think it's the players that make the conference what it is.
Thank you very much, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for that, Charles. And thank you so much, Coach, for joining us this morning. That concludes all the questions. We appreciate you, and best of luck as you travel to North Carolina Central for this weekend's matchup against the Eagles. It's going to be Howard going to North Carolina Central Saturday, January 17th, 2 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Let's travel over to the shore now. Going to be UMES, and we're going to meet with Coach Malikah Willis. Good morning to you, Coach.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing good. How are you today?
I'm okay. Thank you.
Year two for you continues with the Hawks trending in the right direction in a huge way right now. At 10-10 on the season overall, you're finding yourselves 3-0 in the MEAC with wins over Howard at home and a record-breaking road win at Norfolk State. And now you sit alone at the top of the MEAC standings, Coach. How does that make you feel, the team feel, and what's the vibe like on campus with your program at the top right now?
It's nice, but we don't get too high or too low. I'm still trying to get some consistency out of our players. So even after the games, the first three games, every day, every time in the locker room, we're just talking about the goals that we met during that game and how we're paying attention to the scout and things like that. So I'm just giving them just bullet points on what we're doing to progress in the right direction. But we're not getting too high or too low. We have to learn how to win, and that's what we're doing. It's a progress, and we just have to learn how to win gracefully also.
Okay. Well, while the 3-0 record may surprise some people, let's focus on some things that happened earlier. You had three huge non-conference wins against Wichita State, UMBC, and Loyola of Chicago on the road. That got a lot of people's attention. What did that do to the confidence of your ball club?
Yeah, well, we talk about toughness a lot, and it made us realize that we can beat a tougher team. We had a lot of tough players last year that I inherited and got spoiled by, and I didn't have to teach it. And this year we're focusing a lot on teaching it and rebounding and getting on the floor and 50-50 balls. Like that's what our practice is. So, beating those teams early on and even staying in the game with a few other teams just showed that how tough you have to be and how you have to put 40 minutes together to win a game.
All right. So let's talk about the game that happened recently. UMES ended a 9-game losing streak to Norfolk State with a victory paced by Deshaun Carter's 19 points. And you had some real good performances, Ashante Lynch and Kalisa Hill. They control the boards. You made key plays down the stretch to secure the win. Let's talk about that game now. Give me your spin on that game.
Well, that's that game. Our seniors, it's MEAC time, so our seniors are really just talking to our newcomers, and it's almost like it's a new season. When the season started in November, they were talking to them then. Our leadership is on our next level right now, and they're really talking about what we have to do to get things done. It takes a while to do it, so we had ups and downs, but now that MEAC is coming around, they're talking about the same thing. They're trying to guide them and tell them, we got to meet passes. We got to do this, we got to do that. The defense is turned up in this league. So, as far as that game specifically, we were talking about, a lot of their returners that they had and how they play, and that it's going to be physical, and we have to match it, and we have to be the ones that don't back down, and all of that. We have to step on that floor and make statements every game, every time we get out there. So it's all about our leadership right now, and they're the ones saying it. Our seniors are really driving us forward right now.
Okay, and then you did it twice, Coach. You erased what, a 9-point deficit with 7 minutes to go to beat Howard. So I guess it's happening before their very eyes, where they're tough, they're playing ball, and they're seeing the results of their hard work. So what do you say now when you come to practice, or when you do your film study, or do you let the film talk for you?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we talked as a staff about that. Do we change what we've been saying now because it's a little bit different, and or do we keep it the same? We're gonna keep it the same because we're really focusing on us. We've said early on that we're beating ourselves. We're leaving layups out there on the board, and free throws, and unforced turnovers and things like that. So we're gonna keep that narrative the same, but we have to continue to be the aggressor on the floor, and I'm
Okay.
fine with that.
Okay.
And just to say, like this week, Howard is a well coached team, and they had so many weapons, and that was a dogfight. That was a dogfight. That was a really good game, and Coach Ty's re-up game is crazy because she lost all the starting guards and some more off the bench
Yeah.
last year, and in some way got even better. So that was really tough.
Well, I guess it proves the point. MEAC basketball is tough. And Coach, congratulations on where your program is now. We're looking forward to seeing what you're going to continue to do in the games to come. That's it for me. Let's open it up from the media. Rob Knox, Happy New Year to you, man. You got a question for him? Go ahead.
Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. Coach, congrats on your win the other day, or last week. Uh, just question about Khalees. Obviously I saw her play when I was down there last month, and I came away super impressed with her. I see the numbers, and that's one thing, but I just felt that she really controls the game. What do you see? What did you see in Khalees doing recruiting that enabled you to realize that she could be a good fit for your program?
Her quickness, she's a kid out of Atlanta. I came up here from Atlanta, so we had a few ties with some coaches down there. And we needed point guards bad, clearly. So we want to be really selective, and not just get, somebody in here that was going to overshoot or things like that. We needed players that could get the ball up the floor, and make the right decisions. And then, not worry about shooting first. She gets on those kickouts and she'll score after that. And I saw that on her film from Moorhead. So that was something that really stood out to us, because we were trying to be specific about breaking pressure in this conference, and making the right decisions with the ball in the full court. And we got lucky with her for sure.
And then just to follow up on that, Saturday, obviously, I saw she had double digits. What made her stand out Saturday for you during the win, or during that fourth quarter? What did you see from her? Again, first year in your program, and a big spot, coming up huge for you.
Well, she doesn't mind playing the back. You know, she's going to be out there the majority of the game, and her scoring really was about, Ashanti or Bree getting so much attention on their drives, and then they would kick it out to her, and then she would just knock it down, or one dribble and float it up there, things like that. So I think her patience out there on offense, and waiting for that ball to come back to her is what's making her successful right now.
Thanks, Coach.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Rob.
Yep.
Thank you. On you, Ray.
My bad. Here I go. Good morning, Coach. What's happening?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Hopefully as good as you because I don't know how much you look into it. Going back to last season at Coppin to now these 2 wins against Norfolk and Howard, you broken a few streaks at the university. Is that something that as a coach you look at and saying this is something I want to check off in terms of goals, or is it status quo for you? How's you approach these games that were so important in terms of just history and making sure you break these losing streaks?
We didn't. I mean, I haven't really looked at the history of it when it pops up when Scott or something or Nick over here tells me about it. That's great. But we don't even approach it like that. I tell our players that this is their legacy, this is their history, so they make it what they want to make it, regardless of, if we won before or didn't win or whatever. This is their years, this is their college career. So I just hang the hat on that. I really don't talk about other teams a lot. When we go up in that huddle, when we're on the road or when we're about to play, I just keep reminding them, they're writing this. This is for them right now. So they lock in a little bit with that, but I'm not really sure. I mean, I know I'm here for a reason, so I'm sure there's gonna be some records broken somewhere because there was a change, but I don't really keep up with the last time something happened.
All right, we'll keep reminding you, Coach. Don't worry. We'll keep up for you. But no, I appreciate you. Have a good
Yeah.
one.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you so much for that, Ray. And Coach, thank you for your time this morning. That's it for all our questions from the media. Best of luck this week. It's going to be Thursday. What time is that going to be? We had two reported times, 6 p.m. tip-off and 7 p.m. tip-off. Which one is going to be the accurate
That's
time?
6 p.m. Eastern.
All right. Thank you so much. It's going to be Coppin State. It's going to be visiting Maryland Eastern Shore Thursday, the 15th at 6 p.m. tip-off, and it's going to be broadcast on the Delaware Sports Network. We'll see you on the tube, Coach. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
Let's
Have a
go.
good one.
You too. Let's go on over to Morgan State, Coach. The visit with the Morgan State head basketball coach, Nadine Domond. Good morning to you, Coach. How are you? Okay, you got to unmute. There
Good
you
morning.
go.
How are you? Good morning. Good morning,
Good,
everyone.
good. You just finished a very tough non-conference schedule that's difficult for any new coach attempting to change the culture and build a new foundation. But over the course of the last 5 ball games, leading into conference play, the Bears have battled. We've seen to some 1 to 2 possession ball games until the end. I mean, beginning with the last 2 non-conference games, at Loyola and at Towson. We could see that this team was really closing the gap and getting ready for MEAC play. And the proof is in the pudding, Coach. You opened the conference schedule on the shore against UMES. You lost a tough one, 68-61. You only had 7 players available, and 4 of them scored in double figures. Let's talk about that game. What did you see in your team in that loss?
Resilience. I think they
Okay.
continue to fight. I think they continue to believe, and I think they continue to see. We're not fully, everyone's not back yet. And so when we get a full team, I'm excited about that part,
Okay.
when everybody gets healthy and be on the same page. But, we just, like I tell everybody, we're under construction. We're
Yeah.
under construction. And a flower can't bloom without the mud, without the rain, without all the stuff that makes the flower beautiful. And I have to accept that, right?
Yeah.
And I think our non-conference was done on purpose so we can come into the MEAC. The MEAC is tough. I've played in the MEAC. I've won in the MEAC. I was at Hampton when we was in the MEAC, and I just followed the script that Coach Pat Bibbs did. You remember when Pat Bibbs used to have really non-tough, and so I worked with her and Coach Stringer. They always say play the best, so when the conference come, it starts all over. It's 0-0. And I'm proud of my girls. I feel like there were possessions that we're beating ourselves as no one else, as us. And if we can close those gaps and clean up ourselves, I think we'll be okay. But
Okay.
at the end of the day, I'm just taking one step at a time and watching us grow and build and play great basketball when the time matters.
Okay. Well, game 2 of the MEAC schedule, you were playing at home for the first time in over a month. And you ended a season-long losing streak with the 64-63 win over Central. Let's talk about that game.
That game itself was also tough. I think they're a well-coached team, like Coach Willis, well-coached team.
Yeah.
All the coaches in this league is well-coached, and they come prepared. And the fact that these young ladies come today, every day, ready to work is what I'm proud of, and that's what I continue. And they played their butt off, and they were really happy. But I think, like everybody else, you can't get too high, can't get too low, because the next day, the following day, next 2 days later, we get really, really close in a situation with South Carolina State. And he's a great, excellent coach. And I just think that, we just got to keep chopping the wood. Got to keep chopping the wood. We're just under construction. So I'm just proud of the girls and they continue to grow in the growth that we're having as a team.
Okay, let's talk about some of these young ladies. Kaylin Nash, she's been at the top of the stat line for you a couple of games against in the win over Central, 17 points, 7 boards. J.L. Butler, 11 points, 5 boards. Jayla Bannerman, a name we've heard before, came off the bench in that game, scoring 10 points. In the loss to South Carolina State, she had a game high 19 points and 3 steals. So you're using a lot of these players in different roles. Nonetheless, they're performing. Let's talk about some of these players.
Well, I think the people that you name is no doubt Bannerman, JL, the league knows. But I think the unsung hero is probably Miss James, Tiana James. I think Miss James has been quietly putting things together. And then you're talking about the unsung heroes like, the people that don't, Maya Woodson, that's done a great job. Majay Hayes, that's done a great job. I just think that each player, every given night, anybody can show up the way that our ball and the way that our system is set up. So the fact that they continue to come to work, come to practice every day and work is what I look forward to. And Nash, she hasn't played, so she's coming from the SWAC, so she understands it. She understands the competition. James, coming from Virginia State, Bannerman, understanding JL. So if they continue to stack days and continue to get better, that's all I care about. And we're going to get better. We're going to get better. I have to trust that we're going to get better. We just got to be able to close the gaps and stop beating ourselves. We make 2 or 3 free throws last game, is our game to win. So it's us closing that. The game slippage, we got to minimize our game slippage. We do that, we'll be in a good position.
Final question for me, Coach. You've done it at every level. You maybe the talent may be different, but does the process differ?
No, the process never. The blueprint is the blueprint.
Okay. All right. Hold on just for a second. We got some questions from the media, starting with Ray Rogers from Urban Sports Scene. Ray?
Hey, good morning, Coach D. What's happening?
Trying to get better. Trying to get better every day.
I hear you, man. I've been watching you from a distance, and you intense on that sideline. So, what have your players learned most about you over this stretch? As you clearly are looking to teach them.
You might want to ask them. You might want to ask them, but I think what they learn is that you have to be resilient. Like at this time, at this moment, our motto this year is standards over feelings. At the end of the day, no one cares about your labor pains. You got to deliver the baby. I don't think anybody asked the last time somebody got pregnant and said, hey, how long you were in labor? They're like, nah, did you win? Did you lose? And I have to understand, I have to tell my kids, like, no one cares about if you're tired, if you're not tired. Everybody's tired. Everybody wants to get better. But can you show up when it's hard? And that's what we're teaching. That's what they're learning every day, and they're getting better. But I have to honestly say, the media, you guys have been amazing. Thank you for all the shout outs that you do, Ron and Olivia and yourself. And you guys has been amazing and super supportive of the MEAC and talking well about all the coaches. So let me give you guys a shout out because you guys don't have to do it. And thank you. Thank you so very much for what y'all do.
All right.
Oh, appreciate you for sure.
All right. Thanks so much for that, Ray. Charles Hallman from the Minnesota Spokesman Recorder, excuse me.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning.
You are a veteran coach, and you've been around in successful ways. How has the MEAC changed or got better since the last time you was here? And what little things you learned from coaching with being with Coach String that you can add to your career as a coach?
Well, I think the coaches. I think we have a lot of elite coaches in this league, and so that's one thing. The coaching has been, and I'm not saying the coaching in the past was bad. So please, anybody's paying attention from the past. I don't think. I think the talent level in women's basketball with the transfer portal, the ability to bring so many different talents from all over that we wasn't as accessible as in the past as it is now, is what makes the league super special. I think with Coach Stringer and Coach Pat Bibbs, I think what they teach me is that you got to go to work. You got to go to work Monday morning. There's no excuse. Show up and do your best and be the best version of yourself every day. And that's what I try to instill into the girls. Be the best version of you. The rest will come because it's not like for me, I'm big on the process. I love the process. I'm big on the process. And so that's the same thing with Coach Stringer and Pat Bibbs. Enjoy the process, trust the process, see the process, and eventually it'll take care of itself.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Charles. Final question for you, Coach, comes from Rob Knox. Rob.
Okay, cool. Hey, what's happening? Thanks for that shout
Hey,
out. I
Coach, how you
appreciate it.
doing?
And it's so funny you took the two words out of my I was going to ask you about Tiana, and I was going to ask you about specifically Jayla. What have you seen growth wise with Tiana that has enabled her to have more sustained shooting success now and just doing a lot more intangibles? And then Jayla, obviously, I know early in the season, there was a rocky start with there, but she's seemed to be consistent. And again, you've found that role for her coming off that bench.
Well, I think James, because she's been with me for 2 years. She was with me at Virginia State, and she's just comfortable, and she understands the system. She knows what's expected of her, and her ability to be an off guard and a two guard, and in that sense, and to be able to shoot and be able to be a PG is what makes it special. I think Bannerman is understanding how to take a great shot instead of a good shot, and understanding how she get her shots in our system, and she's feeling comfortable in that. And I have to credit her because, that's a lot, trying to understand, learning a new system, a new coach. So for her, growing in her own way every day is what makes her special. And just finding the pieces and they continue to put the things together, the puzzles together for us to be who we need to be. So for us, at the end of the day, as we continue to work through this and get better and take one day at a time, one step at a time, I think we'll be in the position for us where we want to be at the end of the season. There's a lot of basketball left. It's a lot of basketball left. And I just got to continue to trust what we're doing and trusting the process for us to be who we need to be.
And then finally, what was just share the relief of being able to hold off of North Carolina Central? Like you said, the game is pretty much like your season.
I think I finally breathed. I think I finally breathed. I mean, and I tell people all the time, and I love to tell stories. It's hard to say something work when you don't see the results, especially in this society with these kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's hard to say trust the process, and they don't see it because they're not like us, right? They want it now. Like it's supposed to happen now. And so when they finally saw the results of their work, I think they were super excited. Okay, coach, we got it. We see it. We see it. We see it. So for them, I was so happy for them because I wanted for them so bad. And so we just got to continue to do what we're supposed to do. And I think at the end, we'll be happy with the results and the culture that we're creating.
No, thanks so much, and keep up the good work.
No problem. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for that, Rob. And thank you, Coach, for joining us. I know you got a lot to do today. We're going to let you get back to it as you get ready for the trip to Del State. As a matter of fact, it's going to be Morgan State at Delaware State Saturday, the 17th at 2 p.m. on ESPN+. Let's turn our attention now to go to Norfolk State. And I see him sitting over there, Coach Jermaine Woods. Good morning to you, Coach.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, good. This is year one for you leading the Spartans at your alma mater, Coach. You went home, didn't you?
Yeah, I went home, man. It's kind of my alma mater, right? My first degree is from Christopher Newport, where I played basketball at.
Right.
And my second degree is from Norfolk State. So,
right.
Yeah, but I'm home.
Right. But taking over the historically top program in the league has its privileges, but it's also got its challenges, right? So once you tip it off, though, it's all about execution.
Yep.
So how has it been thus far for you as the coach, installing and infusing the Jermaine Woods program into a championship culture that already existed on campus?
I think the best part about it is the support from the top down, from President Gaston to AD Webb, to our sports information department. The resources here are just different, and so it's comfortable. I have 5 assistant coaches. I have what I need to be successful, and so I appreciate that. I think the hardest part is you taking over a team that it could be called Joe Eccles Hall at Larry Vickers Court. That's how great he was here. And so you're taking over a guy who's probably one of the best coaches in MEAC history, and had the best HBCU run in the history of HBCUs last year. So a lot of respect for what he did for the program. So when you come over and you take over that, and you got 5 or 6 returning players who've never not won a championship, who won 32 straight MEAC games, the buy-in is not there right away because they did it a certain way for so long. I don't know how they did it. I wasn't a fly on the wall. I don't know what happened. I know they were great. And so all I know is my way. And so to get that buy-in, takes a while. And I understand that because they're champions. So you gotta earn that trust. But it has its, like you said, it has its perks. We got a great fan base. Our donors are phenomenal. We've raised a lot of money, so you get that side of it. But again, if you never want to really come behind the guy, you want to be the guy who comes behind the person after the guy, right? But I'm from here, born and raised on Norfolk bred, and I'm not scared of anything. And so when the opportunity came, man, I ran right to it, and I'm still running to it.
Okay. Now you came out of a brutal non-conference schedule that featured 5 top 25 teams, and you come out of that with a 5-10 record. Now that's a real tough tour to get a new team ready for conference play. But you did it, and let's talk about this new team that you have. Let's talk about the team.
Yeah, we have people who are in different roles, right? You have Debria and AJ, who last year, Debria made corner threes. She didn't have to really play off the dribble. She had no play were ran for her, right? But this year we run plays for Debria, so it's different. AJ's in a different role. AJ played in transition last year and didn't really have to, come off the ball screens all the time. But now the ball's in her hands. You have Sierra Bailey, who didn't play at all, who's arguably the best defensive player in the conference. And so, she didn't play. You have Jasha, who transferred from Hampton, who now is a point guard who really hasn't played point guard since high school. And we're just different people in different roles, like Leah Nix, who played well against Delaware State, but she didn't play at George Mason. So, we have a bunch of people in different roles, man, and they're just trying to gel together. But defensively, we're the top of every category in defense in the MEAC except for rebounding, which we need to get better at. But everything else, we're at the top. And so we're connected defensively. We're just not connected offensively yet. And once we hit that stride, we'll be fine.
Okay. So presently, you're 2-1 in the league, and sandwiched between 2 double-digit wins over Delaware State and the Central was a 63-61 loss at home to a rapidly rising UMES Hawks team. And you saw that coming when you were at Coppin. Let's talk about that one and what it means to your team in the league. And a lot of times you learn more from a loss than you do from a victory. Let's talk about that particular game.
Talk about the UMES game?
Yeah.
It was a game, right? They won. We lost. That's it. Nothing to talk about.
Okay. Good enough for us.
We play them again.
Yeah.
We play them again, right? We play them again at their place. So we'll see them soon.
All right. Enough said. I see Ray laughing in the background over there. So while the transfer portal has hit everyone seemingly rebuilding their roster each year, see that you find a way to reload yours. These new players are mixed in, and you just talked about them. Let's talk about how do you get the chemistry, and how do you get them really woven into the culture on campus too?
Yeah, we're keeping the transfers. We're limping into I thought we did a good job in the portal, but we lost one of our best guards to an injury for the season, Jazmone Spencer, who, in my opinion, would have been one of the top scorers in the MEAC this year if she was healthy. So that was a tough loss for us because she would have came in and played right away, and they would have more depth at the scoring position. So that was a tough one. But once you get them on campus, even at Coppin, like I always tell people, if I can get a kid on campus, no matter where I am, and put my personality down with the parents, and we'll be fine. Recruiting. I think we do a good job, my staff and myself with just being ourselves and being authentic. We're going to have a great freshman class, which we missed. You look around at me, I see a lot of good freshmen, and kudos to the coaches, for doing that. But I got the job late, and so it was no freshman class, so we missed on the freshman class this year. But we'll have a good freshman class next year, and we're going to mix it. We'll probably do about 5 or 6 transfers and 4 freshmen. And that way we'll have a good mix so we can kind of build the culture and starting to build this thing the right way, build it back to where it needs to be.
Final question before we go to the media. Going up to Orangeburg this Saturday is going to be a challenge. I mean, Cedric Baker has completely changed the South Carolina State Bulldogs in short order. What's going to be the key to coming out of Orangeburg with a win? Rebounding, shot making, everything.
Just going up there and being ourselves, man. Just going there and playing defense and, defending like we do. If we defend like we defend, we could be in any game. Like you said, it's just we got to make a couple more shots. If we make 4 to 6 more shots a game, we would have won. We'll have 6 more wins, and so we've been in some games. We just can't, the ball's not going in like we wanted to do, and the percentages say that. But our players are better than their percentages, so hopefully, those things that works itself out. The numbers don't lie. So he is doing a great job. I watched them play 3 games since we played Del State. I started watching those games. They do a good job, well coached. Happy for what they're doing down there, but more importantly, we're going down there to handle business.
Okay, all right. Let's hold on. Let's turn our attention to the media. First question comes from Rob Knox. Rob.
Hey, Jermaine, what's happening, man? Good job on Saturday.
Appreciate it, man.
Debria, double on Saturday with, I think 6 assists and 6 assists and 3 steals. What did you see in that performance that, that maybe surprised you or didn't surprise you, or just the rebounding from her position?
Yeah, Debria's a tough kid, man. From Baltimore, she's just tough, hard-nosed, knows the game, always competing. And we challenged them. Like, our guards got a rebound, and we challenged her, and she stepped up to the plate. I think she had 13 rebounds. I counted 16 when I watched film, but we'll take the 13. But she stepped up to the plate, man. And if we don't rebound from our guard position, it's gonna be tough. And we didn't do a good job at that in the past. So we challenged her, and she did it, man. She boxed out. She got rebounds because we played kind of small that game, so we needed a rebound. Well, our guards are pretty athletic, but they just got to go down there and get it. And she dug in, and I think she's one of the best defenders in the league. And you watch who she guards during the game, they have a hard time no matter who we play. And so the steals don't surprise me. I think Jaysha is like first and Debria maybe second or something like that in the conference in steals. So we turn people over a lot, but we also turn the ball over a lot, and so we got to kind of fix that. But just proud of Debria, and now Debria's on the ball a little bit too, and she's making the right decision and the right plays and making good passes. So just proud of her for being out of the comfort zone and doing something she hasn't done in 2 years and being in a different role.
Thanks, man.
All right, thanks so much for that, Rob. On to you, Ray Rogers.
What's up, Coach Woods? How you feeling, man?
Good, my guy.
All right, so you mentioned Debria just now, and both her and Ajane made a decision to come back, man. I don't think you got 2 tougher guards in the league. Always intense. How has it been coaching them? They coming off championships and all. You already referenced that. Just keeping that relationship, communication piece, man. Just how have you been able to manage that, knowing what they accomplished and what they're looking to continue to accomplish?
Yeah, like I said before, it has its challenges, right? Because they've won 32 MEAC games, and they haven't lost at home until this year, and they got 2 champions. They've never not won a championship, right? And so they have how they done it before is how they done it. And like I told them, I don't know how y'all did it, right? I only know my way to do it, and getting them, getting the buy-in. At first, taking over any program like this, to get that buy-in is going to be challenging because they are champions back to back to back, right? And but we're getting it, and 2 respectful kids. They play extremely hard. Their numbers don't tell their talent, especially AJ. She's coming around, but again, it's different roles. And so, last year and the past 2 years, you had Diamond, you had Mimi, and more importantly, you had Nia Fields too at the point. And people miss out on that. And so, if you think about it, Ray, like we've lost 5 starters, basically, right? Because sometimes Naya start and not AJ or Debria. So Naya, Mimi, Coy, Nay, and Diamond, right? And so now you putting people in different roles. I mean, that team is different. You look at Mimi Willer, look at her. She's She had the only person with double, like 250 points and 15 rebounds, 15 assists in January in the country, right? And so you lose that kind of caliber of players, and then you need those two to step up, and they will. And AJ is going to come around. She's too talented enough for her numbers to stay the same, but definitely love having them a part of the team. And I think as time goes on, those two will show you who they really are.
Well, I appreciate you, of course, and thanks for keeping it real. You know what I'm saying?
Always.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
No other way.
Thanks so much for that, Ray. Final question for you, Coach, comes from Charles Hallman from the Minnesota Spokesman Recorder. Charles?
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning, Charles. How are you, man?
I'm doing fine. Just a quick question, if you may. With the transfer portal is in play now,
yeah,
do you see a healthy balance in terms of recruiting high school players and bringing in players who have been in college before? Because there's been some arguments that more coaches I've seen it be leaning more towards transfers and at least towards bringing in young kids like freshmen.
That's a great question, Charles. Like when you take over this job, though, right? You kind of try to keep it to where it is, right? And so you think that the transfer report is the answer, which is good. But anytime you get a bunch of transfers, you taking over, you're getting student athletes who think they know it all, right? They already think they know, what it's like and what it is and what they need to do, And so like this year, I'm going to mix it with freshmen. I'm going to recruit freshmen. We have 2 signed freshmen. We'll probably sign 2 more. I'm confident that we'll get another post and another guard in the freshman class, and then we'll mix it with 5 or 6 transfers, so we can have a balance. And we don't have that balance this year. So again, we don't have a freshman class, and that's going to be tough because now you don't have those freshmen coming in for next year that know you and come back and know you. I'm gonna lose a lot this year to whether it's graduating or transfer portal. We'll lose a lot. We all know that. That's just part of the game now, and I respect it and I accept it. But I do need to do a better job with the freshman class. And again, I didn't want not to have a freshman class. We just got the job late, and it was, everybody was signed, and we missed on that class. So, Charles, to answer your question, we're going to mix it up. I think a good balance is pivotal. Like Coppin, my second year, I think I took like 10 different players, and we were terrible. Like it was just a headache. But I returned most of them, and then we got better because I had a chance to keep them 2 years, and you saw the success that we had my third year at Coppin. So I think with a good freshman class and keeping them for 2 years at least, try to keep them for 2 years anyway, it'll help us in the future.
Thank you very much, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for that, Charles. And Coach, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate you as you get ready for a big one down in Orangeburg, South Carolina. It's going to be Norfolk State at South Carolina State Saturday, the 17th of January, 2 p.m. tip-off on ESPN+. Let's go to Durham right now. Let's go to Durham and head on down there to chat with Terrence Baxter, the head coach of the North Carolina Central Eagles. Good morning to you, Coach Baxter. I see you there, snuggled up. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I can say I've definitely been better. Definitely been better. But I'm here. We here.
We glad to see you nonetheless. Okay, it's year 3 for you leading the Eagles. And as you move into league play, the same challenge remains. In a league this tough, you got to stay healthy. You got to play great defense and keep it close to the end, right? I've heard you say stuff like that before. So how's it going thus far for you and the Eagles at this point in the conference schedule? And I know you're hungry to break into the win column, but talk to me about it.
I'll be honest with you. To say we was gonna be 0-3 right now, I would have never guessed that in the world. But the truth be told is we've having one quarter each game that we forget how to play basketball. One quarter each game, and once we fix that, we're gonna be all right. It's a long year, but I know we haven't seen anyone we can't beat yet.
Okay.
But we cannot come out and have 13 turnover quarters to start games, or come out of halftime and have 13 turnovers in that third quarter, and that's been what's killing us. You see, we definitely resilient. We're gonna fight you. We gotta get over, and we got some new kids that came in from not playing, from the other schools that's playing. So we got to get over thinking it's gonna be easy, and that's what I've been on my team about. Like, y'all approach the game like we sweet, and we ain't done nothing. And it takes us too long to get off the porch and be dogs. And by that time, we're down 20, and now we fight our way back, and we losing at the end. And then you throw a lot of elements in at the end of the game once you fight our way back. So we gotta play consistent for 4 quarters, and then we can judge ourselves on winning and losing. But until we do that, we're gonna lose a lot of close games.
Yeah, you're still seeking that first one. And like you said, you came close twice at Morgan and at Coppin. But you got Morgan Callahan, an all-conference performer, and you got Anaya Fingers. And they're leading the Eagles in what? Points, minutes, rebounds. But you got to get a little bit more from other cast members, right?
Yes, sir. And that's what we've been on. I've been challenging my wings. Our wings got to play better. Everything we're doing is coming basically through our point guard and Anaya and Morgan, and our wings. They got to be able to play better. They got to be able to pass, dribble, and shoot. And that's what we're struggling with through our wings. And we've been recycling, trying to find a good match. And Tierney Coleman was able to jump in the lineup, so that helped a lot. Then she got injured, so she missed the last 2. So that kind of hurt as well. But our wings got to play better for us to be completely successful.
Roster management, you talked about this last year because you had a series of injuries in the middle of the season last year. We had to shift some roles and responsibilities. It's critical. Building around a force down low and Morgan Callahan is vital to success. How did you recruit, and how are the pieces critical to your success coming along at this point? And who will we see emerge in the weeks to come?
I think we're putting it together. Like I said, it's
Yeah.
For me right now, it's all about us not playing terrible for 1 quarter. I think all the pieces we got, we're deeper. We can play a lot of people, which we've done all year this year. We can play inside out. People are starting to zone us right now because they struggle playing us man to man. So they're zoning us. So we're finally getting used to that because everybody played us man to man in the preseason, and we jump in the conference, everybody's zoning us. They're packing it in on Morgan and Anaya, and we're telling them you got to catch the ball, you got to kick it out, you got to catch the ball, and you got to work early because they are doubling us, they're squeezing the paint. But those 2 are still finding a way to get it done. But my wings, I'm just telling you, my wings, my 2s and my 3s got to play better, and my point guard. Those three positions got to play better for us to be successful.
Okay, all right. Well, you know, as you get ready for this one, you got a complete ball club coming into town Saturday. You know, and they're going to challenge you in every way possible, right? And you've always played Howard very tough. What is it going to take for you to break into the win column at home against a tough Howard ball club?
I'm just begging my team to give me 4 consistent quarters.
Okay.
If they give me 4 consistent quarters, we'll see where we at the end of that game. But that's all we working on all week is 4 consistent quarters playing the same way. We cannot turn the ball over 13 times in a quarter, and we've done that consistently as well, and for no reason. That's the part that's killing me. It's for no reason. We got to get better at passing the ball. Okay. And we want it now instead of swinging the ball, and that's in our huddle. Swing the ball left or right. The defense weakens. I'm going horse every day telling them that, and we come right out and we try to force it in there right now. We got to swing the ball, make the defense work. Everybody know in the country, nobody want to play no defense. Somebody out there don't want to play defense. You move that ball 3 to 4 times, somebody gonna get weak, and we're not doing that right now. And when we do those things, we're very successful. And when we get down 20, that's when we decide we want to do what Coach Baxter is asking us to do, and we find ourselves back in the game. And we got to stop doing that. And it's our wings got to play better, and we got to play better in the post, and we got to stop fouling. Teams are shooting 30 and 40 free throws against us. If you look at it, that's consistent, and we're shooting 9 and 11. So we got to stop fouling and stop getting cheap fouls. If we're gonna foul.
Okay, all right. Well, that's it for me. Let's go to the media now. Rob Knox, questions for Coach Baxter here.
Coach, what's up, man? Good to see you again.
How you doing, Rob? What's going on?
I'm good, man. Hey, I was thinking about your game, and we talk about the wings. One player who intrigued me on Saturday was Natalie Jasper, number 20, and I know her background. I know she played a couple years at Georgetown and played at Boston. What did you see in her that made her a good fit for your program, and what are some of the qualities that make her not only a solid player but possibly off the court as well?
Natalie was a player we kind of took a chance on coming out of Porto. She didn't play much at Georgetown. She didn't play much at Boston, but she was one of her trainers is from Thomasville, so I knew him through her, and I got to talk to him about her, and I felt like let's take a chance on her. She didn't play much in the beginning of the year. She had a little knee injury that she's coming back from, but she's been playing well down the stretch. Natalie's a player that can shoot the three. She can pass, she can dribble, and she can defend. She was definitely a shock for me here in the last few weeks. I'm seeing what she really can do, and she's going to be a big piece going down the stretch. And I'm excited about her play. And if she just relax and stop thinking so much, she gonna be all right. She asks 30 questions a day. I love it. Love to coach her, but I think she's gonna be a good piece to what we do, and she can defend.
And then from a personality standpoint and just off the court, how is she, on campus or just in the locker room
Uh,
or just things that we don't see?
she's a coach's dream, man. She gonna try to do everything you want. She gonna ask you 30 questions, so she has a 3 to 5 question limit every day. Yes, she has that with us, but everybody on the team loves Natalie because she's gonna ask that one random question that throws everything off. But the kid works hard, man. She comes from a good family, very successful family, and mom and dad was athletes, and you can tell. And some of these transfers that I got, that's a senior. I wish I had them for 3 or 4 years because I could have really did something with them. And it's sad to see some of these kids go play like at Georgetown and Boston and sit on the bench for those years. Like another kid is Nia Young, played at UNC Charlotte, didn't really get to play for those 4 years. I felt like if they could have got out of there a little earlier, we could really do some damage with those kids. But we're gonna do what we got to do with them in these last 3 months.
Thanks, man.
Thanks so much for that, Rob. Ray Rogers.
Coach Baxter, what's good, man?
What's going on, Ray?
Hey, you man, I tell you, going back to last year, you saying, man, sometimes practice look like playing tennis because the turnovers is going back and forth. And I hear the same sentiment from you today. And in my opinion, this is my opinion, what do I know? But I think Howard does play defense. So what will help in preparation? Because maybe some extra film study, because you want to cut back on those turnovers so you give yourself a chance at the end this coming week since you've been close there.
And that's what we've been doing. We've been watching a lot of film. Now, finally, the team is watching film on their own. I think they're finally figuring it out. It's the little things that's killing us. And I've been begging my team to do that all year. You can see like some chemistry kind of off a little bit here and there. And I told them it shows at times that y'all don't spend time with each other. And you can't do that, especially with women's basketball. You got to be on one accord. Men, they can show up and hate each other and go win a game and then never talk to each other. With women, you got to be on the same accord. So I'll be honest with you, going into the locker room after we lost to Coppin, I was about to go in there, and for the first time all year, I heard my team understanding what it takes to win. And they're finally, I think we're finally tired of losing. Not saying we're going to win our next game, but I know my team now finally understands that we all have to play together for us to be successful. We can't worry about who's scoring and who's getting it because, Morgan and Anaya is going to take a lot of our shots. But if you consistently feed them the ball and get to your open spots, you're going to eat a lot off of them because they're going to get doubled every single night. And our team has been struggling, understanding that you're going to get your rocks off by them touching the ball and coming back after you. And we've also been working with a Morgan and Naya, kicking that ball back out and reposting. So I know we're 0-3, but I like my team. I'm just be real with you. I like my team, and I know we can beat anybody on any given night. And it's almost good we ain't hot right now. We still figuring it out because all in all we do this for is 3 games in March. And I don't care how good you are in the regular season. You come up there and you lose that first game, your season is done. So, and that's what I'm preaching to my kids right now. We got to stay the course. We're being challenged. But the one thing I can say, we know what's wrong with us. We know what's wrong with us. A lot of people could be in a situation where they're losing. They don't know what's wrong. We know what's wrong. We're going to fix it. And we're going to have a chance to do it. We still can reach every goal we have set for ourselves this year.
I'm glad to hear about that film study, man. That's a big part Yes, but I know it's not fun for him, but keep grinding, coach. You know, we appreciate you.
You know it. Appreciate you, Ray.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for that, Ray. Coach Baxter, thank you for joining us this week. We'll see you again real soon. We know you got to get back to getting game prep done. As
This film.
Okay, well, we got to get you locked in, and as you do what you do, in search of that win. Okay, it's going to be North Carolina Central hosting Howard Saturday, January 17th, 2 p.m. on ESPN Plus. We were going to turn our attention to South Carolina State, but it seems as if Coach Cedric Baker is unable to join us. For those who had questions for South Carolina State and Coach Baker, we want to ask you to join, make sure you contact the Sports Information Department at South Carolina State to get those questions answered and get them to Coach Baker. I know you're anxious to talk to him about the exciting things that the Bulldogs are doing in Orangeburg. With that, that concludes our opening week of our MEAC Biweekly Women's Basketball Media Conference presented by our great partners at TowneBank. Now, before we sign off, we want to offer a sincere thank you to all of the coaches, the media members, and staff who made today's video conference a success. We'd also like to extend our appreciation to our corporate partners for their continued support of the conference and our Elite 8 member institutions. Just a reminder, the next MEAC Biweekly Women's Basketball Video Conference is set for Monday, January 26th at 10 a.m. For more info on MEAC women's basketball, football, and all MEAC sponsored sports, visit MEACsports.com. Follow the MEAC on social media at MEAC Sports on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Thanks so much for joining us today on the MEAC Biweekly Women's Basketball Video Conference presented by TowneBank, and enjoy a great week of hoops. Peace to you all.